playoff implications, rivalry games, all that mixed into one on this Friday night across South Carolina. I'm actually in Houston for the South Carolina-Texas A&M game, but for you folks back in South Carolina, that's what it was all about tonight on the prep scene. David Shelton will be joining us from the Low Country in a little bit, and we've got a bunch of reporters who will be calling in throughout the night, giving us the stories on their games. But as we like to do, let's give you scores to get things rolling tonight. We'll be updating scores as we go on through the next 2 hours. Here's what's come in so far, and want to, of course, thank the folks over at South Carolina High School Football Updates. They do a great job on Twitter. That is at S_C Sports. And also Score Stream for high school scores in South Carolina. Two exceptional outlets for being able to find scores in action on a Friday night. So Abbeville, talked about this one on Sports Talk, had the makings of a tight one. Abbeville in 96, but nope, Abbeville takes care of business again, and it's 42-0. Abbeville over 96. This was a good one, Chapman and Broome, and Chapman comes away with the 3-point win over the Centurions. Panthers over Centurions, 38-35. Greenwood with a strong win over Pickens tonight, 48-14. Southside Christian dominates Christ Church by the final of 34-0. Westside, which has had a fantastic year, 69-22 over Berea. To the Midlands, Barnwell and Hampton County. Big matchup here. Barnwell wins it, 31-27. Brooklyn Casey over Gilbert, 28-21. Crestwood defeats their rival Lakewood big, 56-0. Strom Thurmond having a fabulous year, 43-8 over Fox Creek. Irmo also very strong, 49-0 over Lugoff Elgin. Silver Bluff, 45-0 over Pillion. Blythewood over Spring Valley. Final score there of 35-6. PD Grand Strand, Darlington gets a win over Lake City, 12-7. It was Hartsville defeating Wilson, 16-3. Kingstree over Lee Central, 36-0. Marion down Mullins, 41-8. Socastee socked it to Wando tonight, 47-7. Carolina Forest down St. James, 35-14. And South Florence, I think I read this today, 35 in a row going in. Is that right? Does this make it 36 wins in a row for the Bruins? Go back and check the math on that. They've got a long winning streak, though, I can tell you. And I'll see if I can find that actual figure. 38-0 tonight over West Florence. South Florence wins it big over their rivals. In the Low Country, Berkeley defeats Cane Bay 24-21. Cross over Burke, 53-0. James Island puts 24 points on the board against Lucy Beckham. Beckham has 13. Two teams, one giving up 6 points a game, the other giving up 4. And James Island wins it 24-13. Bamberg Earhart defeats Whale Branch 28-10. Skeeza Finals, Cardinal Newman 49, Augusta Christian 14. Hammond 41, Heathwood Hall 7. Hilton Head Christian 38, Hilton Head Prep 7. Wilson Hall 45, John Paul II, nothing. Lee Academy 54, Kings Academy 15. Pinewood Prep edges Northwood Academy 14-13. All right, now give you some other scores that have been coming in the last few minutes. And let's see. Refresh the scoreboard here and see if we've got some new scores that have come in. Here we go. Greenville defeats Easley 42-14. Ridgeview over AC Flora 28-7. Orangeburg Wilkinson 34. Swansea nothing. Dillon 62. Georgetown 14. Ben Lippen 49. Augusta Christian 22. Florence Christian 32. PD Academy 20. Andrew Jackson, 59. Buford, 6. Let's see here. Gave you that one.
We just had a call in. They said Hampton County won against Barnwell, 33-7.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now. I had a Hampton County 33 and Barnwell 7, and we had an earlier score of. Did we have a different score?
Yeah, it was 31-27, I believe. Barnwell, and okay. He said that was from a previous game that got suspended or something.
Okay, so Hampton County 33, Barnwell 7. That's the voice of Josh Cohen back at our studios in Columbia. Thank you there, Josh. And let's see if there's anything else new here. I think there is one score I wanted to mention because I don't have it plotted right. Here we go. Lakeview beat Hannah-Pamplico tonight, 27-0. So Gators win big, 27-0 over Hannah-Pamplico. And let's see what else we've got here. Check out another quick source for some scores and see if we have anything that's final that we haven't mentioned, or maybe something that's in the fourth quarter that we want to pass along to you. And as soon as we get a refresh, we'll do that. Let's see. Holly Hill Academy over Jefferson Davis, 36-16. Hilton Head Christian beats Hilton Head Prep, 38-7. Lawrence Manning over Trinity Collegiate, 48-23. In the fourth, Powdersville 33, Palmetto 7. And we've got, let's see, we mentioned that one. In the fourth, Hunter Connor Tyler over Rich Spring Minetta, 20-8. Fourth quarter, Denmark Olar 52, Williston Elko 12. Calhoun County over Wagner Sally, final 56-8. Louisville over McBee, final 58-7. Marion top Mullins 41-8. And if I'm repeating myself, bear with me. Cross big over Burke 53-0. Woodland beats Edisto 57-8. Sherraw puts an interstate number on the board tonight. The Braves 70 and Chesterfield 6. Wow. Fourth quarter, North Central leading Pageland Central 31-20. Andrew Jackson all over Buford 59-6. Liberty leading Chesney fourth quarter 28-27. Battery Creek over Philip Simmons, final 43-14. Let's see, what else? Fourth quarter, Manning leading Waccamaw 42-36. And we've got Camden all over Marlboro County 62-7. Orangeburg Wilkinson shuts out Swansea 34-0. Mid Carolina defeats Eau Claire 38-6. Fairfield Central over Newberry 45-7. It's Seneca defeating West Oak 47-6. Daniel 50, Crescent nothing. Belton Homeopath wins their region. What a year they're having. 51-14 over Wren. This was expected to be a tight one. Anything but. Belton Homeopath 51, Wren 14. May River edges Hilton Head 9-6. Hanahan over Buford 35-14. It is Midland Valley and North Augusta tied at 42 in the fourth quarter. Aiken leading South Aiken 41-35 in the fourth quarter. Richland Northeast 42, Westwood 7. That's in the fourth quarter. Dreer defeats Lower Richland 21-20. And I think we are up to date on the scores at this point. So, with that said, Greenville beat easily 42-14. Well, let me give you a few more. Somerville leading Fort Dorchester in the fourth 40-28. Ashley Ridge, they win interstate on Stall 70-0. Stratford beat Goose Creek 38-35. Berkeley overcame Bay 24-21. In the fourth, Sumter leading Conway 35-29. Carolina Forest beat St. James 35-14. Fourth quarter, Dutch Fork is leading Lexington 38-14. Ridgeview beat AC Flora 28-7. Northwestern 52, Catawba Ridge 10. That's a final. Nation Ford is leading Fort Mill 27-7 in the fourth quarter. Clover over Rock Hill 58-21. Eastside leads Wade Hampton fourth quarter 28-14. Greer doubles up Riverside 42-21. Spartanburg leading Dorman in the fourth quarter 21-14. In the fourth, Burns leading Gaffney, this is for the region title, 33-21. Woodmont and Malden 21-21 in the fourth. J.L. Mann and Hillcrest 35-35 in the fourth. And let's see here. I think that does it for the scores at this point. So let's go to callers who are standing out in their fields tonight to give us reports on games that they have been to. Hit a couple of those before we go to the break. Monty Dutton joining us with the story tonight on Clinton and Emerald in the upstate. I don't think I had a score on that, Monty, so tell us how it went down.
The Red Devils won 51-13, finishing the season 8-2 in the regular season. Emerald was 1-9. However, by virtue of beating Union, I believe that Emerald will make the playoffs. But it was just a big offensive show for the Red Devils. Caden Crawford had 2 rushing touchdowns and two receiving touchdowns. And quarterback Caden Richardson was 6 of 8. And Clinton pretty much did what they wanted to do in the game. And 51-13. And the game was a little bit over. I'd actually given the score a while ago, but it was one of those games that was quickly over, and they're headed back across the lake. So it was a nice day. And Clinton will play against Palmetto in the first round.
So they feel like this is kind of a nice tune-up to get them in the right frame of mind and a little momentum going into postseason play?
Well, you know, when you're a region champion, there's an excellent chance that the first round game will not be too challenging.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, Clinton played Palmetto in the first round and scored 77 points. But Clinton is coming over its mid-season injury problems, and they're reasonably healthy this time of year, and they just that was a big win over Chester last week. So it's time for the 3A playoffs back for a while at Wilder Stadium, and so another good year for the Red Devils.
So what you're telling me basically is they didn't need any momentum to get them ready for next week.
Well, it gets pretty tough in the early rounds, but I think that those first round playoff games, with all due respect, it's sort of a warm up because I think those first round play games, they're just a way to get another gate.
Yeah.
Get another crowd at the stadium. So,
yep.
So, I think there's a danger of getting a little complacent when you play that. But that's the same is true of everybody else in the state. It's the same is going to be true of Daniel and all the other, and every other school there. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of great competition in the first round, but everybody goes through it. So I'm looking forward to it next week.
Well, we look forward to having you with us. We appreciate it. Go enjoy the Furman game tomorrow, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Nice talking to you, Phil.
You too, Monty. As always, Monty Dutton, and we appreciate his reports all season long on Clinton. We go to the break and give you a couple of other scores. Latta defeats Green Sea Floyd's tonight. Final score there, 41-13. So Latta concludes their regular season at 9-1, and they finished second in the region. Excuse me for knowing more about Latta than anywhere else in the state. That's just the way I roll. And let's see, Greenville beat Easley 42-14, and we'll be back after the break.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hosteller Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit LawyerLisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitment that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Looking for a way to fight back against inflation? One viable way to help your money stay relevant during inflation is through investing. To a new investor, investing can feel like a puzzle. With so many pieces to consider, it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance along the way, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. When you're ready to find the pieces to your financial plan, call 866-739-7064 to speak with one of our specialists, or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn about how we can help you identify the key pieces to your financial plans. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC, and not NCUA insured. Not guaranteed by credit union and may lose value.
Hey, we're back on the high school football scoreboard on this Friday night. Great to have you with us. Brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. And let's see, just had another score go up on the board. Loris beat Aner tonight 49-13. So that's a fresh final score. Let's go to Charleston and our man Sam on hand from Bishop England with the story on the Bishop England game tonight, or some information on the Bishop England game. Bishop England Academic Magnet. Sam, how'd that one turn out?
It went really well. I wasn't there tonight, but I think we did really well. I think the final score was like Bishop's 55, Academic Magnet 45. I think. I think I'm right. I think it's Bishop's 55, Academic Magnet 35.
Okay.
But, I have a quick question about the playoff situation for the league. So I went to my first game this year at Dana Island once for a month. I was not really happy with the coaching staff in my high school because I know Coach Canty did really well against Oceanside Collegiate. Is that right? And second of all, I really want to know if Coach Canty will be back next year, because I don't want to see him fired for that. Do you think so, or what do you think?
Oh, hey, Sam, thank you very much. I don't know. I'm not close enough to the situation. I haven't heard anything one way or another. He's been there a long time and has had a lot of success there over the years. So I really couldn't hazard a guess on that because I just don't know enough about it. But you let us know if you hear anything on that, and we appreciate the call, and we'll see if we can get a verified final score on that. But you think Bishop England won, so we appreciate that. Let's continue with our reports. And let's see. We're going to go to Travis Jenkins, right? Travis is with us from up in Chester, and he was watching the Louisville and McBee game tonight, I think. Is that right, Travis?
That's correct, Phil.
Very good. Big night for the Lions.
Yes, sir. Won tonight over McBee 58-7. Clinched the region championship in the process, and they also clinched home field throughout the Upper State 1A playoffs with that one.
And obviously, kind of a mismatch tonight with McBee. I mean, they scored a bunch of points, didn't give up very much, must have played well at every aspect of the game.
Yeah, they did. Ian Grissom threw 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. Damian Fee ran for 3 touchdowns. Defense had a pick 6. It was 45-0 at halftime. And it's a lot like their game with Whitmire last week. It was a bad matchup for McBee because, they run like a split wing, and if they can't eat clock and sustain drives and keep you off the field, they have a tough time. And Louisville, I think that McBee did score one late on Louisville's reserves, but I think that's 37 points Louisville's given up all year. Mm-hmm. Especially good. Well, they're good against everything, but they're especially good against the run. And they forced 3 turnovers in 3 plays and scored 3 quick ones late in the first, early in the second. That pretty much knocked McBee out of it.
What does their postseason lineup look like now after wrapping things up with another region title? What are they looking at next week?
They, I think, will have Calhoun Falls Charter, but then they're going to have to run a real gauntlet. Now, they'll have them all at home, but it could line up to be 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round, St. Joe's, Southside Christian, and Christ Church.
That's pretty tough.
So yeah, it is. So if Louisville gets to stay, they'll certainly have earned it.
No question, but they've had a good year and really have kind of gotten things back in line up there. I mean, I remember a few years ago things got a little sideways, but now they've seemed like they've got things back in the right direction and gotten things back in order.
Yeah, they do. They moved up to 2A for a couple of years and struggled there, as you might imagine, but they've gotten back in 1A. I think one of the big advantages they have is they have uncommon depth for a 1A team, so they don't really have to start anybody both ways, which is a big leg up on most 1A competition, especially up front. If you've got 5, you can start up front on offense, and then in their case 3 on defense up front. That makes a huge difference.
What else have you heard?
Got a ton of. They've got so many playmakers. With Dion Brown and Adrian Robinson, Damian Fee, Denari Garcia, and Ian Grissom's had a huge year at quarterback for them.
What else have you picked up tonight around your region? Anything stand out to you?
Not really. This was this was for the region championship. McBee. That's the thing, is that McBee's not a pushover. I mean, They won 5 games. They beat C.A. Johnson a couple of weeks ago, who I think, if you've seen them, they've certainly got some athletes, and they're a good team. So, this wasn't a weak team they slapped around.
Yeah. Okay, Travis. Thank you, sir. Great hearing from you. We'll hear from you next week in the playoffs. Travis Jenkins from the News and Reporter up in Chester. He does a fantastic job covering the high schools up that way. We thank him for the call, and we're back after this quick break here on the High School Scoreboard.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now. Thinning hair is normal, but it doesn't have to be your fate.
Once I started taking Nutrafol, I could visibly see my hair get thicker.
Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Paid for by Nutraceutical Wellness, Inc.
Had a sign on the front door announcing the premises were a gun-free zone. Again, repeating, Robert Card has been found dead. This has been an SRN News special report.
This decade may be the worst one yet to retire in. That's why you need the most current retirement information. For more than 30 years, Bob Carlson has been helping investors stay ahead of turbulent markets and money-grubbing politicians. Now, more than ever, you need to subscribe to Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch. Bob makes sure his Retirement Watch readers are getting independent advice on all aspects of retirement. It's advice you won't get anywhere else. When you subscribe to Retirement Watch, you'll get 12 months of the newsletter. You'll also get 5 model portfolios. Plus, you'll get immediate access to the Retirement Watch private website with tons of special reports. You'll also get an online spending calculator to help you deal with inflation. Plus, exclusive conference calls with Bob Carlson, answering your retirement questions live, all for as little as $49.90.
Hey, everybody. I'm David Jolly of the Higgins and Halloran Insurance Group. When you think about insurance, I ask that you think of me. I'm homegrown in the Midlands. I live in Lexington. I'm a lifelong learner, teacher, coach, and friend. There are many insurance agencies out there. There's even more agents. How am I different? I served 20 plus years as a coach and teacher. I'll help you understand it. I've done this for a long time. I've been there for folks during horrible times in their lives. It's not easy, but it's when I can help the most. I'll explain the right insurance coverage, not try to sell it to you. Best of all, I'm an independent insurance agent. I want to be your trusted insurance advisor. I have no quotas to fill. I work for you, and I'll find you the best and most affordable coverage to fully protect you, your family, and your business. I'm always available to my clients, who I get to know as friends. I can help with personal insurance, like your homes, vehicles, or boats, your commercial, for business owners. And it doesn't matter how big or small your company is, I want to help. So when you think about insurance, think of me, David Jolly of the Higgins and Halloran Insurance Group. Online at higginsandhalloran.com or give me a call at 803-850-0054.
Fran Halloran here. Now listen closely to what I'm about to say. I'm a business owner, and many of you listening right now, you're business owners as well. The first rule in owning a business is this: don't waste money. I see business owners waste their marketing dollars all the time. Not me. I figured out a long time ago that spending my marketing dollars at the point was not only intentional, but extremely profitable as well. If you're a small business owner, you owe it to yourself to sit down with Kevin Cohen and ask him to create a custom marketing plan for your business. He's looking for folks just like you who believe in local to partner with him in 2023 and beyond. Trust me when I tell you, partnering with The Point works. You will see results, and your marketing budget will no longer be wasted. Give Kev a call at 803-563-8558 and tell him the Money Coach sent you.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-590-6470. 800-590-6470. 800-590-6470. That's 800-590-6470.
We are back with the high school football scoreboard on this Friday night, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Phil Kornblut here in Houston, Texas. Josh Cohen back at our studios in downtown Columbia. David Shelton will join us whenever he feels like he's ready to join us. North Central beat Central of Pageland. That final score was 38-36. South Point beat York 38-7. Thomas Hayward 40, Patrick Henry 19. Northwestern 52, Catawba Ridge 10. Dreer 21, Lower Richland 20. Batesburg, Leesville 20, Saluda 17, Richland Northeast 48, Westwood 21. Burns has defeated Gaffney to win that region 33-21. Latta defeats Green Sea Floyd's 41-16. C.A. Johnson over Whitmire 38-6. Calhoun County 56, Wagner Sally 8, Oceanside 13, Timberland 7. Cross 53, Burke nothing, Hanahan 35, Buford 24, Stratford 38, Goose Creek 35, Crestwood 56, Lakewood nothing, Dutch Fork. Don't forget about the Fork in the playoffs. They beat Lexington 38-14. We have Billy Baker. I think it's a hot call. Yes, it is. I see. It's a hot call.
Okay, we're
with
up.
Billy Baker of the high school sports report. I think he's up in the upstate tonight. Billy, welcome.
Hey, Phil, we're standing on the field at Gaffney High School, and I promise you this, Reggie Shaw is as happy as he's been in a long time. His team came to play tonight, and I'll tell you this, freshman running back Trey Segarra, who wears number 21 in honor of Marcus Lattimore, he's over 100 yards tonight and 2 touchdowns. Senior quarterback Andrew Stevens threw for 3 touchdowns. Gaffney was off tonight. Their center oversnapped the quarterback twice earlier in the game. They had 4 first half turnovers. They came back hard in the second quarter, but they lose tonight 33-21. And Burns High School is your region champion, and they are a scrappy bunch of players. And I give you Reggie Shaw now, live from the field in Gaffney, and he's eating a croissant. Somebody gave him a homemade croissant for a victory celebration. Here is Reggie Shaw, and he is one fired-up head coach. Here he is.
All righty. Sounds good. Thank you, Billy. Hey, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you so much, man.
Winning Region 2 4A. I mean, that's not winning the state championship, but I know a lot of coaches over the years, they have felt like it's like winning the state championship.
Phil, it's just as tough as it ever has been. I call it Region 2 Black and Blue, and it's been every part of it this year. We've had to fight and claw and find a way, and just so proud of my players and coaches. They came ready to play tonight. They were really prepared. Created a bunch of turnovers and, faced a really stingy defense, but, made plays when we had to. And, just so blessed, man, to get first outright region championship up here.
So tell us about the turnovers. What did you guys do during the week to get ready? Was there something you saw with Gaffney or just what did you see?
Yeah, just a great film study. We actually had 2 weeks. We had a bye week, so that really helped. But just dissected based on their formations and down the distance, and they were just predictable in some ways. And the quarterback had some tendencies, and so our guys just really locked in and knew what was going to happen a lot of times before, and we were in great position. So, heck of a job by Coach Cross and Coach Henderson and Billy Anderson, Coco Henderson, John Hicks, and Rob Searfoss getting our guys ready. And guys just executed a great game plan.
Who are some of the players offensively, defensively that you want to cite tonight as being mainstays for you and really making some big plays?
Yeah, you got to start with Armani Weaver. He broke the game open right there with about a 70-yard screen pass for a touchdown. Came back in after being hurt. Just battled through injuries. Got hurt tonight. Got back in there and just made plays and then made plays on defense. So, heck of a job by him. Tracy Garrett actually had about a 60-yard touchdown called back, or he's approaching 170 yards rushing as a freshman. So, big shout out to him. And then Andrew made some good throws in crucial situations under a lot of duress. But defensively, James Oates and Tanai Cook are 2 north-south captains for us. James had a pick and. Just played lights out, man. Those 2 guys were all over the place, but the whole defense just played tremendous.
A performance like this, winning the region, of course, home field and all that through the playoffs. How are you feeling as you go into the postseason?
Very blessed, man. Very blessed. The guys done some amazing things on this team, and been through a lot, starting all the way back with the summer with losing a former player in a tragic way. It just kind of brought these guys together and made them really realize life is pretty precious, and you your teammates are your brothers, and so they've loved each other and believed in each other, and that's been a huge difference this year.
Did you have them packed in at Nixon Field tonight?
We were up in Gaffney, and our fans traveled well. It was standing room only, man. Real proud of the Rebel Nation came out strong tonight and was loud and really with 12th man for us. We appreciate them.
Well, you're right. I looked at the wrong spot here. You were in Gaffney, so that means you won at the reservation. That's even sweeter.
That's really tough to do, Phil. And we're just really fortunate and blessed, man.
Yeah,
really proud of my team and coaches.
Well, we congratulate you. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes here. Good luck going into the postseason. I have a feeling we'll be talking to you some more down the road. So thanks for the time.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Thank you. Yeah, man. Thank you. Reggie Shaw, coach at Burns. And that's a great win for the Rebels. Like he said, to win the first region for him there at Burns High School. And Burns defeats Gaffney tonight. Gaffney they're going to be heard from as well in the postseason, no question about that. But a very nice win, and to do it on the road, to go there and win 33-21. That's a good overall performance, not having any numbers in front of me. But when you can put 33 on the board against Gaffney and hold them to 21, that's a complete job, and that's what Burns did tonight to win that game over at the reservation. Okay, thank you, Billy Baker, High School Sports Report, for getting coach to us. Let's go to Hugh Gray from Newberry High School. And let's see here. The Bulldogs tonight taking on Fairfield Central. Big region matchup there, Hugh. Thank you for joining us. Tell us what happened in this one.
Hey, you're welcome, Phil. Thanks for having us. The Broad River rivalry started out real well for both teams. First quarter, Jamel Howes takes an option pitch for Newberry, breaks it open 80 yards for a touchdown. Fairfield Central answers with a long drive of their own, 74 yards in 5 plays, and it's 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. Both teams in the first quarter totaled about 135 yards of offense. So, we thought we were gonna have a barn burner. Really tight at the end of the first quarter, but Fairfield Central cut loose in the second quarter. First play of the second quarter, they scored a touchdown to go up 14-7. On Newberry's next series, there's a fumble, returned 40 yards for a touchdown to make it 21-7. Newberry's next series, the Bulldogs get it going. They get down inside the 5, throw an interception in the end zone, and Fairfield Central takes their next drive off of that turnover, scores again, and then scores one more touchdown before halftime. Going into half, it's 35-7 Fairfield Central. And that's how it ended. No scoring in the second half. Fairfield Central's quarterback, McMillan, came into the game at about 68% completion rate. Didn't hurt that stat at all. He was 20 of 24 tonight, which I believe is about 83%. That's doing pretty good through the air. And, they weren't just little swing passes. They were downfield, chunk yardage plays. So Fairfield has it going into the playoffs, and Newberry will regroup next week and play a first round game themselves as well.
Yeah. Good season for Newberry. Nothing to hang their heads about. And of course, one of those losses is the forfeit to Gray. From what you saw, did you think if Fairfield and Gray cross paths in the playoffs, that could be a good ball game?
Oh yeah, I think so. Saw Gray play last year against Newberry, of course, and Fairfield Central has the pieces, and really the quarterback. He's just a sophomore, as I understand it, but he really has a good pocket presence. He's elusive. He can get things done with his feet, and just a good arm and accurate as well. I think that would be if those two come together in the playoffs.
Boy, you know if that happens, it's going to be. They'd have to. I guess Gray is undefeated in the region, so I guess Gray will be home the whole playoff. So you have to go there, but that would be some ticket for sure. Hugh, thank you, and we'll hear from you next week in the playoffs. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Very welcome. Thank you, Phil.
Yes, sir. And our best to Jimmy Coggins over there at WKDK in Newberry. He's got Newberry Wolves football tomorrow on the radio there. Okay, so let's go to the break. We'll come back and get some more scores plotted for you, get some more reports in as well. And David Shelton will be joining us here at some point in time to share his expertise on tonight's football action across the state of South Carolina. You are listening to South Carolina Statewide High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.
Investing can be like a puzzle. There's so many pieces to consider, and it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. Call 866-739-7064 or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn more about how we can help you take the first step towards reaching your financial goals. Securities offered through LPL Financial.
Touchstone Energy cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
Hello, friends. This is David Shelton, co-host of the Friday Night Scoreboard Show with Phil Kornbluth. As many of you know my story, I've lost 2 sons to drug overdoses in the past 10 years. I want to tell you about my friends at Wake Up Carolina. Wake Up Carolina is a nonprofit recovery community organization dedicated to providing awareness, promoting education, and creating hope in recovery for our young adults, individuals, and families touched by substance use through collaborative community partnerships, trusted resources, and support services in Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties. The organization relies on private donors and state funding to make sure all their resources are free and open to the public. Call them today if you know someone who needs assistance. That's wakeupcarolina.org. Phone number 843-972-8154. Don't wait until it's too late.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
We continue on the high school football scoreboard on this Friday night across the state of South Carolina. Phil Kornbluth here in Houston, and we have Josh Cohen back at our studios in Columbia, and David Shelton will be ringing in just a little bit. The Somerville Fort Dorchester game obviously ran a bit long, and he's having to do some post-game stuff with them, and he'll be joining us just as soon as he has wrapped up his duties there. And we'll talk with him about everything that has gone down tonight. Let's run through the scores while we have the opportunity. Let's run through the scores from across the state. And let's begin in the upstate. I beg your pardon? Oh, we do have David. Well, there you go. Well, then let's welcome in David Shelton from the High School Sports Report and the Charleston Post and Courier. David, welcome in. It's good to have you with us.
It's good to be here.
Tell us about your game, Somerville, Fort Dorchester. How did it turn out?
Somerville won the game 48-28. It was 21-7 going into the fourth quarter. And then there was a scoring orgy. Things went crazy. And it finally ended. I mean, the third quarter went by in no time. And the fourth quarter was back and forth. Big plays, fumbles, return for touchdowns, kickoff returns. But Somerville came away with the win. They were the better team. They won 48-28, and they completed the season 10-0.
How about that? Great year for them under Ian, and they'll be a favorite going into the postseason. Hang on, David. Let's get another report from down your way because our man Andrew Miller from the Charleston Post and Courier is joining us here on the high school scoreboard. He was at a good one tonight. He had a big matchup. He had James Island and Lucy Beckham. Yeah, let's go to Andrew. Andrew, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Phil, long time no hear. How you been?
I'm doing great. It's good to hear from you, man. Tell us about your game tonight. The Islanders win it 24-13.
Yeah, the fourth-ranked James Island in Class 4A wins this one 24-13. They capture Region 7 4A championship. Both teams unbeaten coming into this game. Lucy Beckham was down a couple of defensive linemen coming into this game, and then they lost another starting defensive lineman to what sounded like a concussion in the second quarter. So they were down three starting defensive linemen. And when you play a team like James Island that loves to run the ball, they got two big running backs. Junior Maxwell is one, and Amontre Scott, he's kind of their change of pace back. They have another guy named Tank Scott. He's another big back. They really just kind of rely on that power running game, and boy, they were able to run the ball effectively against Lucy Beckham, and it was too bad. It was a great game, one of the best high school games I've seen all season long. I felt like that if Lucy Beckham didn't have all their bullets in the chamber, then they were going to struggle stopping that James Island running attack, and that's what happened. James Island rushed for almost 300 yards, and then Lucy Beckham's Steven Seagars had 175 yards and scored twice for Lucy Beckham. So he had a great night. Really good football game. Two really good defensive teams and two teams that really rely on the running game.
Yeah, I was going to say these two teams going in, they had yielded almost no points, a little bit. One was giving up 6 a game, one was giving up 4. So something had to give tonight, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And again, the James Island offensive line did a really good job, but they have, like I said, they have two big bruising running backs, and then Amontre Scott, who finished with 101 yards and a touchdown, kind of the change of pace guy for them. They were really effective, especially in the second half. Really kind of wore down the Lucy Beckham defense. But I give Lucy Beckham, the Bengals, a ton of credit. Playing a couple men down, really fought hard, had a chance to cut the lead to 24-20 with about 4 or 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Got all the way down to the James Island 6-yard line. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but anyway, so they didn't score, but there was a pass interference call in the end zone. And in high school football, I thought it was still an automatic first down, but I guess it wasn't because it came on third down, and then they had one more play on third down, and then they tried on fourth down again. This is Lucy Beckham trying to score to make it an even closer game late in the fourth quarter. But do you know that rule, Phil? Because I do not, because they did not award them an automatic first down, even though it's pass interference in the end zone. Maybe David Shelton knows that rule.
Let's turn that over to David Shelton. David, what do you know?
David dropped out a couple seconds ago.
Okay, we'll have to get with David.
Yep.
And that's just so typical.
Yeah. But it just was strange because I know in the pro game and in the college game, you get an automatic first down there. And not that would have changed the outcome of the game. It would have just made the game a little bit more interesting. Maybe get an onside kick. You hold them. Who knows what happens at that point because it's a one-score game. But that just seemed like a kind of an odd call there. And neither coach could kind of tell me what the official rule was.
Well, hang on a second. Let's go to is Sam with us? Sam Albuquerque?
He is.
Let's bring up Sam Albuquerque. Sam with the Greenville News in the Upstate covering the Gaffney game tonight, Gaffney Burns. Sam, do you know the answer to that? And thank you, Sam, for calling. Would you happen to know the answer to that question? Pass interference in the end zone, is that not a first down in high school football as far as you know?
I do not know the answer to that question. I based on my experience, I would say it is an automatic first down. And I think it's not at the spot of the foul. Is it a 15-yard penalty, I think?
Yeah, but it was inside. It was at the 6-yard line, so they're inside the 10. And I thought maybe that's why it was, because the 15 yards or half the distance of the goal line would not have given them an automatic first down in that situation. I guess that's the call. But like I said, but I thought if it was in the end zone, you automatically got it like the 2-yard line, and it was first and goal from there. But like I said, I don't know. I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know that rule.
Yeah, I'll ask that question as we go through the night, Andrew, and then we'll report back to you.
All right. But, yeah, great game here tonight. Both teams played really well. James Island is a legitimate threat to at least from the lower state perspective, I think, to get to the state championship game. They've just got a really balanced team, got a really good wide receiver in Wishy Ravenel, who's one of the best wide receivers in the Charleston area, got a good quarterback, really good defense, and 2 really good running backs. So they're going to be a threat. They made it to the 3rd round last year.
Well, look forward to hearing from you throughout the playoffs, if you would.
Absolutely, Phil. Of course.
Thank you, Andrew. Have a great night, my man.
You too, Phil. Thanks.
Take care. Andrew Miller, Charleston Post and Courier. Now back to Sam Albuquerque in the upstate. And what I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your final appearance on the high school scoreboard?
Yeah, Phil. Unfortunately, it is the final appearance. It's my final game covering upstate football here for the Herald Journal, Greenville News, upstate papers here for Gannett. It was a hell of a game to go out on, though. I can tell you that, Phil.
Yeah, what stood out to you the most about your not your first, but always a big one when Gaffney and Burns get together. This time it was at the reservation. I think if you check the record books, the home team probably has dominated in this series. So when the visitor gets a win, it's a precious thing for that team.
Yeah, definitely. And the reservation was bouncing tonight, especially towards the end when the Gaffney offense started to click a little bit. But what really stood out tonight was the game plan on the Burns defensive side. They did the same thing pretty much throughout the entire night. They dropped 8 into coverage and rushed 3. And overall, it worked phenomenally. This passing game for Gaffney is one of the best in the state. They have 4. If you include the running back, Jaden McDowell, they have 4 legitimate wide receivers because they put them out wide very often in this offensive scheme. And Burns said, we're better than you. And they went out there and then they said, throw the ball on us while we drop 8 in coverage. And Gaffney tried, and Burns intercepted the ball a couple times and really kind of shut down that game, except for about a 4 or 5 minute spurt there in the early fourth quarter where Gaffney got the game down to 27-21. But then Burns responded with how they always do with their athletes. They have the best athletes, I think, in the upstate with a guy like Armani Weaver, Camarius Bomar, Juicen Evans, Trey Segura. It just goes on and on. You throw in the backup quarterback, Zy Landrum, who usually sees a little bit of playing time with his legs. They just have more athletes than most teams. And they showed it again tonight when Armani Weaver broke what looked like a 70-80. It was so fast, I don't even know when the play happened. I just see Armani just blowing past everybody and getting in the end zone and wrapping up the game and making it 33-21 and, just calling game on that play.
Sam, great job, man. Good luck in your new endeavor. Hopefully we'll be hearing from you somewhere down the road, but we appreciate you joining us throughout the last couple of football seasons.
Thank you so much, Phil. I really appreciate the opportunity.
You got it, my man. Best of luck to you. And we'll hit this top of the hour break on the high school scoreboard, and we'll be back. Don't go away.
Weekdays from 7 to 9 on The Point. It's Kev and Brian in the morning. The news, the traffic 4 times an hour, and your daily forecast. Topics to wake you up, topics to make you smile and laugh. Hope you'll join us.
The Point. The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Tasha Stevens. The hunt in Maine for a suspected mass shooter is over. Police found the body of the 40-year-old man around 7:45 tonight, found in the woods near Lisbon with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Governor Janet Mills said it's been a long 48 hours involving over 300 law enforcement officials.
I stand here tonight to simply report that the Maine State Police have located the body of Robert Card in Lisbon. He is dead. I've called President Biden to inform him about this news. I've informed Senator King, Senator Collins, Representative Pingree, and Representative Golden.
A bulletin sent to police across the country shortly after the attack Wednesday said Card had been committed to a mental health facility for 2 weeks this past summer after hearing voices and threatening to shoot up a military base. Israel appears to be on the move.
The Israeli army says its ground forces are expanding their activity in the Gaza Strip as it moves closer to a full-on ground invasion of the territory. Internet and phone services have collapsed in Gaza under intensified Israeli bombardment, largely cutting off its 2.3 million people from the outside world and each other. Israel has amassed hundreds of thousands of troops along the Gaza border. Ken Lorman reporting.
The latest Israel-Hamas war has quickly become the deadliest and most destructive in the long history of the bitter enemies. The Biden administration is recommending U.S. citizens leave Lebanon while flights are still available. The advisory comes as the security situation in the Middle East remains unknown as the conflict between Hamas and Israel continues. The State Department included a list of flights from Beirut's airport for Americans looking to leave. More on these stories at townhall.com.
10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only critically concerted cell phone provider. And when I say only, trust me, they're the only one. Glenn and the team have been great supporters of my show, which is why I am proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all three major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile like I did, you're sending the message that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, our military, veterans, and first responder heroes. Their 100% US-based customer service teams make switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Gorka or call 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation when you use the offer code GORKA. Join me, make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/GORKA. 972-PATRIOT.
A member of the defending Super Bowl champions has been sidelined by the league following his arrest. Correspondent Gethin Kulba reports.
The NFL placed Kansas City Chiefs receiver Justin Ross on the commissioner exempt list 3 days after he pleaded not guilty to charges of misdemeanor domestic battery and criminal damage to property. Ross is not allowed to practice or attend games while on the list. Ross was released from jail Tuesday after posting a $2,500 bond. He is due again in court on December 4th. The Chiefs said they were aware of his arrest but had no comment. The 23-year-old has been active in their first 7 games but has just 3 catches for 34 yards. I'm Gethin Kulba.
Dozens of pro-Palestine protesters have reportedly been arrested at a large sit-in at Grand Central Station in New York City. Several hundred people gathered during that protest. News and analysis at townhall.com.
This is Ian with AccuClean. With the holiday season and gatherings with friends and family quickly approaching, now is the perfect time to get your carpets, rugs, and upholstery cleaned. AccuClean is a veteran-owned and local carpet cleaning company located in the Midlands for over 20 years. Call AccuClean today at 803-957-1202 to make sure your carpets are refreshed this holiday season. Once again, that's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. We hope to see you soon.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and whatever, just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You do it. Okay, we're back on the high school football scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut here in Houston. David Shelton now reconnected with us. David, are you there, sir?
I'm here.
Good to have you back with us. What did you think about? We lost you when we had Andrew Miller on talking about the James Island win tonight. Your thoughts on the way James Island got it done tonight, continued their fine season?
Yeah, first undefeated season in school history, and I had them picked to win, and I thought it would be close, and I thought it would be a defensive battle, and it seems like it was. James Island just got a few more horses. Lucy Beckham is a solid team, but James Island got a few more horses in the backfield. They can run it and throw it, and they got a good receiver out on the perimeter. Probably the better team. I know Lucy Beckham was missing some guys, but I think the better team. But hey, both these teams will win in the playoffs a game or two. But that 4A Lower State is going to be a bear with South Lawrence and Hartsville and Myrtle Beach and Irmo. So I mean, they can celebrate tonight, but it gets real interesting here over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I would agree. Hang on. I want to go to Justin Mathis, who had a big game tonight in the upstate. Chapman and Broome. This was a heck of a game. Chapman wins it. Panthers win it 38-35. Justin, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Phil. That was like watching a 12-round heavyweight fight. That was a fun game to cover tonight.
Yeah, tell us some of the details. I mean, don't have to go score by score, but sort of the end there. How did Chapman do something late to win, or did they have a lead and they held on?
Well, Broome actually struck first. They drew first blood, if you will. They took the opening kickoff, or their opening drive was 75 yards, every bit of it on the ground. Jalen McGill had 50 of those yards, and before Kamaje Brackett ran in, the quarterback kept it on a read option keeper down the far side for a 25-yard camper. But then Chapman answered with a drive of their own, and that would become a common theme through tonight, Phil, is a heavy dose of the ground game no matter which side you looked at. Both teams run spread offenses, but, you spread it out to run, and both teams got a couple of horses that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Jalen McGill, he is every bit as good of football players people are talking about. It was my first time getting to see him in person. He's only a sophomore, and that's scary to think about.
What did he finish with from a rushing standpoint? Any idea?
I don't have the complete numbers, but I can tell you at halftime, you look up my numbers here. At halftime, he had 10 carries for 74, and I'm pretty sure, I'm confident saying he went over, at least knocked on the door of 175 or 200 all purpose, because he also had an 83-yard kickoff return for a touchdown tonight. So McGill's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But Chapman, they held their own. They the first key point was a defensive stop by Chanson Mickles on a screen pass. Broome drew up a screen. He was able to clamp it down, force a punt. It's I feel like, set the tone a little bit, turned the tide a little bit in Chapman's favor to where they could they went up, I think, 14-7 after that stop.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What does this mean? What does this mean for the postseason now for both of these teams?
Both teams will at least get one game at home. Chapman, the 1 seed, they'll potentially get 2 based on how I'm reading the bracket, if I'm reading it correctly. But a couple of guys, unofficially, I had Chapman with 3 players going over 100-yard rushing, led by Matthias Scott. I had him at 19 carries for 161 yards, 3 scores. That's 9 touchdowns in his last 3 games of the regular season for the senior running back. Coleman Gray had 17 carries for 135 yards and a pair of scores, including a 24-yarder late that put it back to a 2-score game. And then Keanu Na queued up some big yardage, had 13 carries for $115 on the ground. So, I mean, just all around a heck of a performance by the people who toted the mail for the Panthers and for McGill.
Hey, Justin, thanks very much, man. Great job, and talk to you next week in the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. David, what about that one? What about Chapman winning? Heading to the playoffs for them. Both these teams, I think, got a chance to make some noise in the postseason.
Yeah. I mean, they both should win next week. I thought this would be a pretty close game. I thought McGill is a tight player, Broome, that can keep this team very close to anybody they play. He's a really talented kid. But Chapman's probably the better team overall, as they show with 300-yard rushers. But yeah, they'll both make noise in the playoffs. It comes, after the second round, it all comes down to matchup. So I look for both of them to at least get through the second round.
This McGill kid, he's in the 2025 class, right? So he's still got next year of high school football, and
he's a sophomore.
He's in the 26 class.
Right.
He's in 26 class. Okay. Unless he reclassifies. In today's world, they want to get out of school so quickly. Who knows? But he sounds like he might be like the next really special running back to come out of the state from the upstate.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of early recruiting looks. He's a strong guy. He's not huge, but he's very strong and he's very, very quick. Great feet and all the stuff you look for. I think over the next 2 years, you're going to hear his name quite a bit. Broome is going to build their offense around that young man for sure.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, let's continue. We got folks lining up, so let's go to Garrett Mitchell. The story tonight on the Woodruff game. We haven't given that score yet because it probably ended not too long ago because there were a ton of points scored in this one, Garrett. Woodruff wins it for 59-40. I guess the defenses just took the night off, huh?
I'll tell you what, Phil, it's about par for the course every time Woodruff and Union County play. It always winds up being a high-scoring ball game. The last time Woodruff played at Union County in 2021, Woodruff won that game 63-49. So it was a very, very similar ball game tonight. But I tell you what, Woodruff just simply overpowered Union County offensively. There wasn't much that they couldn't do. And to take nothing away from the Yellow Jackets, they held their own just fine. Their superb running back, Cameron Owens, finished with 262 yards on 28 carries. So that young man had quite a night. But it was the two youngsters for the Wolverines. Freshman running back Aiden Gibson was north of 150 rushing and 3 touchdowns. He also caught 3 passes for 75 yards and a touchdown, including a 68-yard touchdown on a pop pass on the very first play of the ball game. And then you've got the sophomore wide receiver, Corey Motes, with 219 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And for good measure, Corey surpassed 120 yards rushing as well.
That's a load. That's a good night's work right there.
I tell you what, these two young men, they're going to be the cornerstones of this Woodruff offense for several more years. And junior quarterback T.J. Morris, unofficially, I haven't gotten home to add up all of the numbers yet, but I had him unofficially at 345 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. You've heard me say it all year. This is such a young Woodruff team, but the talent in these, especially the freshman and sophomore classes, is really, really good. And you talk about the state of the running back in upstate South Carolina. Mm-hmm. You've got Marquise Henderson over at Belton Honeypath. That's a 4-star recruit. He's a junior. McGill at Broome is a 4-star recruit. He's a sophomore. And Woodruff's Aiden Gibson at 6'2", 195 pounds. There's been some talk that he could potentially debut in the 247 top 300 for the class of 2027. So you've got a lot of talent stacked up in the upstate at the running back position.
Boy, it sounds like it. What does this result mean now for these teams next week in the playoffs?
Union County finishes their season is over. They finished 1-9. They finished 1-9 on the season. That lone win came against Lawrence back in non-region play. And for Woodruff, they finished the regular season 4-6, 2-2 in Region 4 3-8. And they'll travel next week to Wren, which Wren will come into that game with a 5-5 overall record. I think it's a pretty good matchup for Woodruff. I think both teams are probably about even in terms of what they can do and what they put on the field. So I expect a great game over in Piedmont next Friday night. And with that said, the winner has the unenviable task of going to Daniel in the second round.
Oy. Have fun with that. Hey, thank you so much. Have a great night and a great weekend, and talk to you next week.
Phil, you as well, and sounds good. We'll talk back at you next Friday night.
Thank you. Garrett Mitchell, story there. Big win for Woodruff. We go to Scott Keeler in the upstates. And let's see, Scott was at the Hillcrest. This was a game, Man and Hillcrest tonight. Scott, welcome in. You saw a good one tonight. And Man gets the better of Hillcrest tonight, 42-35. What a back and forth game that one must have been.
That's kind of an understatement. I mean, this is unreal, Hank. Phil.
That's okay.
Man had lost a heartbreaker to Greenville this year, and played decently against Hannah. Couldn't get over that hump, and this is like a real signature win for that program. Who's only lost 2 games this year, but it was just Avery McFadden of Hillcrest showed why he's a Mr. Football candidate, and his friend across the way, Mikhail McClellan, is like their version of Avery McFadden. Both guys went over 200 yards receiving tonight. Unbelievable return guys. They run sweeps with these guys to get them runs as well, and it was a back and forth affair. Fourth quarter was unreal. McFadden nobody scored more touchdowns in a Hillcrest career than McFadden, and tonight was his first pick six. He added a pick six to that scoring mix. He's got 50 touchdowns in his career, and tonight was his first pick six. That put Hillcrest up 21-7 early. Later on, Hillcrest blocked a punt, scored to go up 28-14, and Man just never quit. It was I'm trying to look down here in my notes here. It was the wildest sequence that summed up the whole night was in the fourth quarter when McFadden, who sparingly plays on defense, Hillcrest had a corner out tonight, among other plays. I must tell you, too, before I get into this, the game, you could see a tangible change when Hillcrest starting quarterback, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name at the moment, but the Hillcrest starting quarterback went out late in the second quarter, never returned. The backup came in, did some good things, but threw a few interceptions that proved costly. But later on in the fourth quarter, it was 35-28. JL Man, they had just taken their first lead. They got the ball back. McFadden's in on defense, and he corrals McClellan and forces a fumble. It was tied at 28. He forced a fumble at the Hillcrest 20, so Hillcrest recovers. The next play, JL Man intercepts a screen pass, and a defensive lineman, let me get you his name, Joel Crespo, returns at 20 yards for a touchdown. All of a sudden, Man's got their first lead of the night at 35-28, and it comes on defense. The next play, this was like with 3 minutes to go in the game. The next play, McFadden turns a screen pass into an 80-yard touchdown. So we're tied at 35. Hillcrest forces a punt, so they get the ball back at their own 15 with about 50 seconds left, and they I think they got one first down, and then a diving interception by JL Man linebacker Jackson Sirkamer, set them up at the Hillcrest 40. They go down, and with 9 seconds left, their talented quarterback, Ethan Alexander, throws an 11-yard touchdown pass to Camden Crimmins, tight end, and JL Man wins 42-35.
It's got to be one of the biggest wins. Got to be one of the biggest regular season wins for Man in a long time.
Right, and I was mistaken. They actually they had a home playoff game last year, but they haven't had a deep history of a lot of home playoff games. But secured second place in the region behind Hannah tonight. And Hannah had already wrapped up the region title, didn't play tonight.
Yeah.
So Man gets the 2 seed, Hillcrest gets the 3 seed, so Hillcrest has to go on the road next week. And it's another. I would dare say, without looking at it, I don't think Man's had many years where they've had back-to-back home playoff games in their history. So.
Well, they've done a great job, and we thank you for the terrific report tonight, and look forward to hearing from you into the playoffs, and tell folks about what you and your cohorts are doing with your new internet publication.
Yeah, HarrisonSuttle.com. We can read about this one, and also kind of through Harrison Suttle and my cohort, Jed Blackwell there. Ian Guerin has recruited me to the Prep Zone team, so I'm writing for them as well. And have tonight's game report and have a little story about McFadden as part of our preview look at Mr. Football next week as well on Prep Zone as well.
That sounds great, my man. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Sure thing.
Have a great weekend. Okay, boy. David, we've talked about JL Man this season, and I'm just amazed by how much that program has turned it around in the last 2 years to become a real factor in the upstate.
Yeah, I mean, they have done a complete turnaround. I think they've gotten the numbers out, and it's a big win. I mean, I know Hillcrest lost their quarterback, but it's a good win, and they'll go into the playoffs, and they won't, they'll be favored in the first round, and then it gets pretty tough because it looks like Dutch Fork, I think, if I'm right, Dutch Fork and Lexington are going to be in the upper state bracket. So along, with the usual suspects, I think Hillcrest can still be, depending on the health of the quarterback, I think they can still make a run. So, it looks like it's kind of wide open. I guess you would say Hannah might be the favorite, but I don't think anybody is going to pencil them into Orangeburg. I think it's going to be a very good competitive battle because you got Burns, you got Gaffney, the usual suspects that are going to be very tough to beat. Okay, we got to run to a break. Folks who are holding on, please hang in there with us. We're going to get right to you. I see Lou's on the line, Lou Bajak from the States. Chris Bergen, he's on the line. He can hang on there as he drives back to Florence. He's probably around Gallivant's Ferry right now. We got Thomas Grant with the story on North Augusta tonight. So we got some great reports coming up, and David and I'll go over all the scores as well. Once we wrap up these reports, we'll be right back.
Investing can be like a puzzle. There's so many pieces to consider, and it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. Call 866-739-7064 or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn more about how we can help you take the first step towards reaching your financial goals. Securities offered through LPL Financial.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Okay, back out to reporters who've been at games tonight. Appreciate their patience, hanging in there with us. Let's go to Lou Bajak in Columbia, the state newspaper. And Lou was at the Brooklyn-Casey game tonight, and this was a good one and a big one. BC beats Gilbert, Lou, 28-21. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, it was a huge win for BC. Winning the region. I mean, both teams came in undefeated in the region. Gilbert was trying for its third undefeated season in school history, regular season, but BC was able to get a strong running game from Will Young and Deshaun Watson, Washington, not Watson. And then
I was thinking they've got a Deshaun Watson too.
No, it's Washington, and they were able. The key point in the game, it was 14-14. Gilbert had just scored twice right before halftime, and then had the ball. We're inside the 20 of BC at first possession of third, and big Jared Holmes, 280-pounder, picked off Drake Braddock and tipped the ball up, intercepted it, and BC was able to score on that drive, score on the next drive, and were able to hang on. Gilbert just couldn't stop that running game from BC and that physical offensive line. And the Bearcats will go into playoffs as region champs for the fourth time under Rusty Sharp, and Gilbert will be the number 2 seed now in the lower state from Region 5-3A.
Done a great job at BC, hasn't he?
Yeah, Rusty's done a really good job rebuilding this program, and they're just a tough matchup in the playoffs. The way they run, they don't throw the ball that much, and they're just very physical, very precise what they do. And like I said, that offensive line did a heck of a job for opening up holes for Young and Washington. Will Young's pretty special talent. I think he's underrated. He made the Shrine Bowl, but he does a lot of things. Plays quarterback, plays receiver, running back. Almost had an interception on defense tonight. Returns kicks. So he does a little bit of everything for the team.
Let me ask you while we got you. Dutch Fork beat Lexington 38-14. That's a big win for Dutch Fork. Now, as we go into the postseason, you kind of feel like they got the legs back under them now. They got a little bit healthier, and they're going to be a dangerous team in the postseason.
Yeah, dangerous 2 seed. They get one home playoff game. I think they'll host Boiling Springs next week, and then probably have to go on the road. And then it's going to be tough. But I mean, who would want to bet against them? Their defense is clicking. They got a big special teams touchdown tonight. John Hunt played all right tonight, but they had a good running game with Lodge and Anderson. So yeah, they finished the season. They started 2-5. They finished with 3 straight wins. After that, lost to White Knoll, and then finished second in the region. And they're definitely going to be tough out on the top of that upper state bracket.
David, what do you think about Dutch Fork, the way they finished up? Now they're going to the postseason.
Well, it's November, so you know what that means. You know, I've been saying all year, don't count them out. And if they get healthy, and you know they're obviously going to play pretty good defense. Again, the upper state's going to be a tough road to hoe, but until somebody knocks them out in November, I'm going to think they got a shot.
Lou, thank you.
And it looks like the way the bracket will be Dutch Fork and Tijuana possibly in the second round. So that would be a big one.
That'd be dandy. Hey, Lou, thank you, man. You can read Lou, of course, in the States, state.com. Thank you, my man. We appreciate you. Talk to you next week, and we'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because only the Sleep Number Climate 360 smart bed lets you each sleep up to 13 degrees cooler or warmer on either side, while you both sleep at your ideal level of firmness, comfort, and support, your Sleep Number setting. And now our all-new next-gen smart beds have temperature benefits. so you sleep better night after night. And now, save up to $500 on our new Sleep Number smart beds, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
At Simply Safe, our 24/7 lifeguard protection helps stop crime in real time. Because during a break-in, every second counts. And these days, every dollar counts. Right now, get 45% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. It's U.S. News and World Report's Best Home Security of 2023. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Fran Halloran here. Now listen closely to what I'm about to say. I'm a business owner, and many of you listening right now, you're business owners as well. The first rule in owning a business is this: don't waste money. I see business owners waste their marketing dollars all the time. Not me. I figured out a long time ago that spending my marketing dollars at the point was not only intentional, but extremely profitable as well. If you're a small business owner, you owe it to yourself to sit down with Kevin Cohen and ask him to create a custom marketing plan for your business. He's looking for folks just like you who believe in local to partner with him in 2023 and beyond. Trust me when I tell you, partnering with The Point works. You will see results and your marketing budget will no longer be wasted. Give Kev a call at 803-563-8558 and tell him the Money Coach sent you.
If you're a hunter, it's got to be your favorite time of the year. As we wind down the month of October, it is hunting season. Shooter's Choice is all over it with the best deals, the best selection on guns and scopes, but there's so much more to Shooter's Choice that makes me brag on them. They have the best choice of champion gun safes anywhere in the region. They carry a good supply of ammo, so you're not running out in the middle of your hunt. You know another ammo shortage is right around the corner, so get what you need now. Each week, it's been a different manufacturer bringing you their best. This week, it's Silencer Co. in the house with discounts on their products. Their gun silencers are some of the quietest out there, but I don't want to be hush-hush about it. I want you to know all about Shooter's Choice. They are awesome. Great people work there, people who make it a career and care about customer service the way we talk like it used to be. Except at Shooter's Choice, it still is. In West Columbia on Sunset Boulevard or online at shooterschoicesc.com. Make it your first choice, your best choice. Make it Shooter's Choice.
Have you fallen behind on your taxes and might be facing IRS penalties? Have wage garnishments, levies, or liens? Have unfiled tax returns? You want someone local and qualified. Don't fall for those national spots. Meet with me, Teresa, at Capital City Professional Services, and let me help you through your tax maze. I can help with all your tax resolution issues. There are options to get you back on track. Call Capital City Professional Services, 400-8683. That's 400-8683.
This is Ian with AccuClean. With the holiday season and gatherings with friends and family quickly approaching, now is the perfect time to get your carpets, rugs, and upholstery cleaned. AccuClean is a veteran-owned and local carpet cleaning company located in the Midlands for over 20 years. Call AccuClean today at 803-957-1202 to make sure your carpets are refreshed this holiday season. Once again, that's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. We hope to see you soon.
Hi, this is Jennifer Coolidge. The American Heart Association says the disco song Stayin' Alive is the near-perfect feat for hands-only CPR. If you see a teen or adult collapse from cardiac arrest, you only need 2 steps to help save a life. Call 911 and push hard and fast in the center of the chest to the beat of the song Stayin' Alive. Disco is back and it's saving lives. To learn more, go to heart.org/hands-only-CPR.
Nationally supported by the WellPoint Foundation.
I'm here to fill time because, as everyone knows, when a radio station has dead air, Daddy loses money. Albeit these guys are getting such a deal, Daddy's not losing that much money. So take that, Mr. No Raise in 48 years. The Point.
We are back on the high school football scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. It is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Not to take our eye off the football, but we got a good one going in game one of the World Series, 5-5, bottom of the ninth. Rangers have runners on first and second, 2 away. They blew a 5-3 lead last couple of innings. Now they're trying to see if they can pull one out of the fire here at the very end. Okay, back to the main job here, and that's high school football. We're going to go over all the scores here just a little bit. But Chris Bergen is now with us, the voice of Socastee and the echo of Coastal Carolina football, because he's on the sideline echoing what they're saying up in the booth. And I say that with great admiration. Was I right? Were you around Gallivant's Ferry when you called in?
I've never heard my job with Coastal described as an echo. I kind of like that. I may take that as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Actually, I was driving through Marion, and I'm a media mogul. I had TV people calling me, so I had important people outside of you trying to get in touch with me. So I apologize. I had to return a phone call when we went to break. But fun night for Socastee. They haven't had a whole lot of those last couple of years. And for a team that's found virtually every way to lose the game, they found a way to win it tonight. They beat Wando 47-7. Close out the regular season on a positive note and head into the playoffs. But it was an Oprah Winfrey type game for the Braves. Special teams, you get a touchdown. Defense, you get a touchdown. Offense, you get a touchdown. The Braves took the opening kickoff and drove it right down the field. And Rocco Wojcik, their outstanding quarterback, on a run play, tried to pitch it as he's hitting the turf out to Kadir Scott. Fumbled the football, and turned it over to Wando at about the 1 yard line, and he thought, oh, well, here we go again from a Socastee perspective. But the very next play, Wando throws a pick six to put Socastee up 7-0. About 2 minutes later, Socastee gets a strip sack fumble return for a touchdown, and they led 13-0 before 3 minutes were gone in the first quarter, and it was pretty much Katie bar the door after that. Rocco Wojcik had an outstanding game, accounting for 5 touchdowns, putting a 73-yard touchdown run. And Jonathan Goswick, probably for Socastee, the most unlucky player in the building. I mentioned the special team scores. He had 2 kick returns for touchdowns, one of 90 yards and one of 54 yards, both gone back on penalties. Or the final margin would have been much worse than it was. But I'm sure Socastee will take it after what has been a really, really tough season for them. They wrap up the year at 3-7. And assuming Fort Dorchester did not make a miraculous comeback down the stretch, I think they probably lost to Somerville tonight. So that's where Socastee will be next week. First round of the 5A playoffs at Fort D.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your dipping your toe into the playoffs there, okay?
Well, it's funny. I asked Ben Hampton, Socastee's head coach, I said, what have you done to upset the football guys? Because 2 years ago when Socastee opened the playoffs, they had to go to Dutch Fork in the first round. That was the year Dutch Fork played Gaffney for the state championship. And now they were staring at the loser of Somerville Fort D. They were going to have to face one of those teams in the opening round. He said, it goes back to my days in North Carolina as the coach. Whenever the state champion out of North Carolina came from the eastern part of the state, that's usually where his team went to the playoffs. If they were coming from the western part of the state, that's the side his team had to play on. So he's not had a whole lot of luck in first-round draws in the postseason.
Well, hey, they got a W, and that's got to feel good for a little bit. And, hey, that's why you play the game. You never know what's going to happen next week, though the odds will be against them. And you have a safe trip home the rest of the way and a good broadcast tomorrow with the guys with Coastal Carolina, and we will see you on Monday.
Still sounds like fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, there you go. Chris Bergen. So Socastee gets that win tonight, and will go in the playoffs coming off a victory. And let's go to Thomas Grant. And Thomas was taking in the North Augusta game tonight. And let's see here as I look for the result there. I'll just let Thomas come on in and fill us in on what he saw tonight. Oh, okay, Thomas. We've only got 20 minutes. And you've got a game that had 97 points scored. So you got to trim off the fat here. 49-48, Midland Valley wins it. And what a game that must have been. How did they pull it out?
Well, this was, like you said, I mean, first off, it was a sold out crowd. I mean, basically standing room only. It was just like a sea of orange and blue here in Graniteville with Midland Valley. But I mean, it came down to the meat of the story. It came down to basically the stars showed up tonight. In particular, Midland Valley side running back Trayvon Dunbar. He was basically basically was the best player on the field tonight. He rushed for 315 yards and 4 touchdowns. In the process, he ended up reaching 2,000 yards. He's now up to 2182 on the season. He also had 2 80-yard touchdown runs right on first down. And, I mean, this was a game where, particularly in the third quarter, they had about 28 points within a span of 4 minutes between both teams. There was one stretch where after it was tied, after his third touchdown, tied the game at 28, Mason Go-Million basically made a 1 in a million play where he stripped the ball on the guy returning the kickoff for North Augusta, returned it for a touchdown to give them the lead. On the very next play, Corey Tillman, you could say he was probably the best player on this field today because he also had 4 touchdowns. He rushes for a 56 or 65-yard touchdown to tie the game at 35. Then back comes Dunbar with his second 80-yard touchdown run to make it 42-35. Then they get a score from North Augusta to tie the game at 42. Then Midland Valley in the fourth quarter gets a touchdown from on the quarterback sneak from Preston Butler to go up 49-42. Back comes North Augusta. Once again, they get a touchdown run to get to 49-48. And it basically came down to, in the last, it was with less than a minute left, where they decided to go for the win. And the 2-point conversion, Tillman was stopped short, and they ended up going with an onside kick with Jada Stevens, who's a Shrine Bowl place kicker.
Mm-hmm.
He successfully pulls it off. They recover it. And next thing, they run a flea flicker, which leads to a long passing yard, and then they get into a position where they set up for a game-winning field goal by Jada Stevens, who's one of the top kickers in the state. And he ends up getting, as his time expires, his kick is blocked by offensive lineman Ashton Mazzone. And that ends up getting Midland Valley the victory. More importantly, they get to win the Region 4 4A title. They also go 10-0, but probably the most satisfying part of it is the fact that it snapped a 24-game losing streak to North Augusta. This was their first win over North Augusta since 1998.
What a game. And Dunbar over 300 yards. And, I mean, listen, I can't suggest what college coaches do, but I do find it hard to believe that he can't get a greater sniff from South Carolina and or Clemson based off the year he's having right now. And he must have, like you said, he put on a show tonight.
Yeah, he's a guy, I mean, he's 5'10", 200 pounds. He's also, remember, he suffered a torn ACL as a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a slow year. I mean, at the time when he tore his knee, he rushed for 1,900 yards. And last year, he only played 5 games. And this year, he's just been a man on a mission. But he's one of those small top guys who, he's deceptively fast. I mean, and he basically, it takes about 3 or 4 people to bring this kid down. But once he gets out in the open field, I mean, he outruns the fastest cornerbacks. So this is a guy, like you said, I think I understand that South Carolina may have talked to him briefly, but yeah, this is a kid who probably he's at 2,200 yards. And I sort of asked him, I mean, there's only been one guy in this state history who's rushed for 3,000 yards, and that's Casey Adams out of Great Collegiate. And he's a guy, depending upon what type of playoff run they make, who knows? He could end up being the second one.
He could make it. He certainly could. Thomas, thank you so much. Get some rest after that one. Look forward to talking to you next week from whichever game you're covering in the playoffs. And we appreciate it and have a great weekend.
Same to you.
Okay, Thomas Grant from Prep Red Zone, South Carolina. And appreciate Thomas reporting on that game, David. How about Midland Valley this year? What a season they've had. They got the great running back. They can score some points, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think I think anybody that said they had Midland Valley going 10-0 this year is lying. I knew they would be improved. Definitely a 7-8 win type team, but they just managed to win some close games. Dunbar has been healthy and has played well, and they got some other guys on that team. It worries me a little bit about their defense, giving up that many points tonight. And in the playoffs, you can't expect guys to rush for 250, 300 yards every night. You got to stop some people, and so we'll see how they do in the playoffs. It's going to be a challenge for them. But certainly they've had a great year. No question about it.
All right, David, let's do our blitz across the state and have you comment here on the scores you hear from one region. When I talk about region, I mean region of the state to the other. So in the upstate, it's Abbeville 42-0 over 96, Northwestern 52, Catawba Ridge 10, Chapman over Broome 38-35, Liberty 36, Chesney 35, Daniel 50-0 over Crescent, Greenville 42, Easley 14, Eastside 28, Wade Hampton 14, Clinton 51, Emerald 13, Nation 4 27, Fort Mill 13, Burns over Gaffney 33-21, Greenwood 48, Pickens 14, Greer 42, Riverside 21, J.L. Mann 42, Hillcrest 35, Louisville 58, McBee 7, Woodmont 34, Malden 21, Powdersville 33, Palmetto 7, Clover 58, Rock Hill 21, Batesburg Leesville 20, Saluda 17, South Point 38, York 7, Fountain Inn 26, Southside 16, Southside Christian 34, Christchurch 0. Spartanburg beat Dorman. Gosh, I can't believe playing this rivalry game. We hardly paid attention to it. Vikings win it 35-14. Travelers Rest 24, Blue Ridge 21, Woodruff 59, Union County 40, Pendleton 54, Walhalla 8, Seneca 47, West Oak 6, Westside 69, Berea 22, C.A. Johnson 38, Whitmire 6, and Belton Honeypath 51, Wren 14. Who you want to talk about?
That Southside Christian shut out Christchurch. That one stands out a little bit. I'm not shocked that they won, but I think you said the score was 34-0 or something.
That's what we got, 34-0. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's a shocker. Southside Christian is going to be a contender in Class A, and so is Christchurch. The Spartanburg win over Dorman. Two teams that had losing records going into the game. I don't think that's happened in forever. And then Burns, taking care of Gaffney tonight, with that good defense, holding them to 21 points is a pretty good accomplishment.
All right, hang on a second now, David. Hang on. I'm doing a double check. I'm checking another source. I'm looking at Channel 7, and they've got Christchurch winning that game 34-0 over Southside Christian. Does that sound more reasonable?
I wouldn't have picked 34-0 either way, but I would have thought Christchurch was going to win that game. So I guess we'll have to find out.
Unless I just entered it in my haste of getting scores on the sheet here. Maybe in my haste, I entered it wrong. How about Belton Honeypath, the year they've had? What kind of threat are they to go a long way in the playoffs?
Oh, they're a threat. I mean, they have a shot. They have a great running game, and that we heard Garrett Mitchell talk about Henderson, the junior running back, is a special player. So, but they have other guys too, and they have a good running game, not just him. So if you run the football and play defense in the playoffs, you got a shot.
All right, double checking here on Score Stream on the Christchurch page, and they do have Christchurch winning 34-0. So probably I put the score on the wrong side. So Christchurch beat Southside Christian 34-0. Let's hit the Midlands here and run through the scores. Andrew Jackson beat Buford 59-6. Hampton County 33, Barnwell 7. Brooklyn Casey 28, Gilbert 21. Calhoun County 56, Wagner Sally 8. Chapin 41, River Bluff 38, Crestwood 56, Lakewood 0, Trier 21, Lower Richland 20. It's Dutch Fork, a winner over Lexington 38-14. Mid Carolina 38, Eau Claire 6, Woodland 57, Edisto 8, Strom Thurmond 43, Fox Creek 8, Irmo 49, Lugoff Elgin nothing, Midland Valley 49, North Augusta 48, Fairfield Central 35, Newberry 7, North Central 38, Central 36, Hunter Connor Tyler 26, Ridge Spring Monetta 20, Ridgeview 28, AC Flora 7, Silver Bluff 45, Pillion nothing, South Aiken 42, Aiken 41, Blythewood 35, Spring Valley nothing, Orangeburg Wilkinson 34, Swansea nothing, Richland Northeast 48, Westwood 21. We got to run to a break. When we come back, we'll have David talk about some of these results from the Midlands. Then we'll hit on the PD and the Low Country and work in some Skeeza as well. Okay? So we'll hit the break here on the high school scoreboard. We'll tell you in the World Series, they're in the bottom of the 10th. There are 2 outs. There's nobody on, and it's still 5-5 Arizona and Texas. Back in a moment here on the high school scoreboard.
Looking for a way to fight back against inflation? One viable way to help your money stay relevant during inflation is through investing. To a new investor, investing can feel like a puzzle. With so many pieces to consider, it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance along the way, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. When you're ready to find the pieces to your financial plan, call 866-739-7064 to speak with one of our specialists or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn about how we can help you identify the key pieces to your financial plans. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC, and not NCUA insured. Not guaranteed by credit union and may lose value.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitments that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
All right. David Shelton with us. Just went through the Midland scores, David. We talked about Dutch Fork. What else caught your attention from the Midlands tonight?
Well, I think the fact that Irmo, I mean, I know they were playing a lesser opponent, but Irmo made a really strong statement heading into the playoffs. They got to be a team that everybody's got to keep their eye on. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think the bracket's set up where in the third round, if both teams advance, James Allen and Irmo would play. That would be an interesting rematch. You know, Irmo lost to James Allen last year. And then James Allen went and lost to South Florence. So, but Irmo is clearly right now the team in the Midlands that everybody's chasing, so to speak.
All right, let's go to the PD Grand Strand. Cheraw 70, Chesterfield 6, Sumter 43, Conway 29, Darlington 12, Lake City 7, Dillon 62, Georgetown 14, Latta, home of champions, 41, Green Sea Floyd's 13. That's a 9-1 Viking team. in the regular season. Lakeview 27, Hannah Pamplico nothing. Hartsville 16, Wilson 3. Kingstree 36, Lee Central nothing. Loris 49, Ainer 13. Marion 41, Mullins 8. Camden 62, Marlboro County 7. Myrtle Beach 56, North Myrtle 21. Socastee 47, Wando 7. Carolina Forest 35, St. James 14. Manning 48, Waccamaw 43, and South Florence, David, 38, West Florence nothing.
Pretty solid win there. I that's not a surprise though. I didn't think West Florence could stay with South Florence. So, you look at Irma, you look at South Florence. Those are the teams in the lower state, along with James Allen.
What about in the class there with Dillon? Big win tonight. They've had another great year. What do you think the Wildcats will do in their classification in the postseason?
Well, I mean, they'll be one of the teams to beat. They always are. You got Philip Simmons and Hanahan is playing red hot football right now. I don't know how they would stack up in a third round type playoff matchup, but they beat Philip Simmons and Buford in back-to-back weeks. So Hanahan's kind of that little sleeper coming out of there with a new coach and winning 6 games.
Let's go through the low country. You mentioned Philip Simmons, 43-14 over Battery Creek. Berkeley 24, Cane Bay 21. Cross 53, Burke nothing. Bluffton 55, Colleton County 21. Stratford 38, Goose Creek 35. Hanahan 35, Beaufort 24. May River 9, Hilton Head 6. James Island 24, Lucy Beckham 13, Oceanside 13, Timberland 7, Ashley Ridge 70, Stall nothing, Somerville 48, Fort Dorchester 28, and Bamberg Earhart 28, Whale Branch 10. That last one there was a big game going in. That's a big win for the Red Raiders.
Oh yeah, this was a game that a lot of people had paid attention to, as to the winner might position themselves to be one of the teams to beat in the lower state in Class A, and it turned out to be a really good game, very physical game. But Bamberg gets the job.
Give you these Skiza scores. Bethesda 34, Beaufort Academy 28, Ben Lippen 49, Camden Military 22, Cardinal Newman 49, Augusta Christian 14, Providence Athletic 62, Cross Episcopal 6, Florence Christian 32, PD Academy 20, Hammond 41, Heathwood Hall 7, Hilton Head Christian 38, Hilton Head Prep 7, Holly Hill Academy 36, Jeff Davis 16, Wilson Hall 45, John Paul II nothing, Lee Academy 54, King Academy, make that Kings Academy 15, Lee Academy 54, Kings Academy 15. You just said that, Corn. Pinewood Prep 14, Northwood Academy 13, Orangeburg Prep 41, Greenwood Christian 7, Colleton Prep 58, Palmetto Christian 14, Thomas Hayward 40, Patrick Henry 19. First, make that Porter Gould 49, First Baptist 42, and Lawrence Manning 48, Trinity Collegiate 23. Quickly, Hammond, they're going to win another championship?
It's going to be hard for somebody to beat them. Cardinal Newman and Porter Gould are the two best shots. I guess Lawrence Manning would be in that mix, but Hammond is the clear favorite, no doubt.
Even though Cardinal Newman, man, they've beefed up on talent. I mean, they've had a few transfers come in there from different places and really ratcheted up their talent level.
Yeah, but the two biggest games of their year, they lost. They lost to Porter Gould, they lost to Hammond. I mean, they're still a threat.
Yeah.
What'll be interesting is if Cardinal Newman and Hammond end up in the finals. The games are supposed to be at Charleston Southern, but they might try to find somewhere in the Midlands to play that game.
Williams-Brice will be available. They won't have anything going on in all likelihood. David, it's been a pleasure. Have yourself a great night and a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, take care.
Take care, my buddy. And Josh Cohen, thank you. Great job back in Columbia. Thank you to all the players, coaches, parents, fans, and officials who made it all happen tonight. And thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.
The only afternoon local talk radio in Columbia is the Afternoon Drive with Kev. It's all about you. It's your phone calls. It's my challenging topics. All the news, traffic, and weather weekdays, 4 p.m. on The Point.
Press that button, home stew.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Tasha Stevens. A 48-hour nightmare is over in Maine. The body of Robert Card, the 40-year-old suspected mass murderer, was found earlier Friday night in the woods near Lisbon, Maine. Governor Janet Mills credits good police work.
But this discovery is entirely thanks to the hundreds of local, county, state, and federal law enforcement members from all over, and people from other states as well. People who searched tirelessly to arrive at this